Here are the biggest sports contracts so far as of 2026. As you know, the history of sports contracts is a long and fascinating one. There's a video from Baseball's Not Dead covering the history of specifically baseball contracts. You see, back then things were very different. Sports were almost semi-professional in their heydays. NFL players chose factory jobs over actually playing. NBA players, despite their talent, got paid less than plumbers, so they had to have second jobs. Over time, though, things started to change. The first player to have a contract amounting to $1 million in total, from what I could find, Pete Maravich in 1970. Though a bowler of all people got $1 million a year in endorsements. Shout out to Don Carter. Eventually, Nolan Ryan became the first athlete to get $1 million a year in his contract. Juwan Howard, an NBA player, earned a total contract that eclipsed $100 million. Then the first player to eclipse a total of $250 million was Alex Rodriguez in 2000 when he signed with the Texas Rangers. The first player to hit $50 million annually was actually an F1 racer named Michael Schumacher, all the way back in 1999. Finally, the first $500 million player was none other than Lionel Messi himself, who signed a 4-year, $674 million contract with FC Barcelona. This also became the first instance where someone earned over $100 million annually. Today, we stand at 765 being the pinnacle. In late 2024, Juan Soto signed a 15-year, $765 million deal with the New York Mets, who outbid their crosstown rivals by $5 million. This got me thinking, who will be the first billion-dollar player? The first to earn over $1 billion totally. Whether it's a span of 5 or 15 years, who will break that milestone? Well, today I found 5 candidates that fit the bill, starting from pipe dreams to very likely. But before we count down that list, be sure to obliterate the like and subscribe buttons. Note, we are counting in USD. For football/soccer cases, transfer fees will not contribute towards the total contract, as their compensation towards the previous club that the player played in. Surprising, I know, but the man's raw power is through the roof. I mean, during spring training of 2025, he rejected a massive extension. We don't know the full details, but what we do know is that he has a combined 160 on bases over 3.5 seasons. Last season, he had 264, 22 home runs, 86 RBI with a WAR of just 3.6. He led his team to their first playoff appearance, excluding 2020, since 2013. 95 games this season. His WAR is 3.6. He's hit 276, 19 home runs, 53 RBIs, with an OPS plus of 132, the highest in a full season so far. Of course, these aren't MVP level numbers, and the Reds are currently lagging behind the playoff race. That's why he's fifth by a long shot. His defense is also polarizing. While he has great abilities and can make great defensive plays, he also led the league in errors last year. And this year he has 11 errors in 92 games as a shortstop. Of course, he's getting much better. But now you might ask, why do you think this guy is deserving of $1 billion contract? Number one, to start, the 2025 contract was rumored to be over $250 million. De La Cruz is 24 and still has another 3.5 seasons to get better. Number two, he is still the face of the Reds organization. The greatest Reds player of all time, Joey Votto, didn't make an All-Star appearance until his third full season playing. He didn't record above 5 WAR until his third full season again. Meanwhile, Ellie did it in his first full season. At this pace, he just needs to play 133 games to match 5 WAR and 140 games to steal 30 bases this season. To get $1 billion, though, he would have to win at least one MVP or be top 5 twice, make at least 2 deep playoff runs. We're talking NLCS at least. Hit 300, not just for this season, which would require him to hit 420 for the rest of this season, but the next two, and steal at least 40 bases for 2027 and 28. His defense needs to improve. Not outstanding, but simply decent, which I feel is the easiest part. Is this all easy? Definitely not. Impossible? Also definitely not. I think a 13 to 14-year contract is plausible, but to get $1 billion, that would be a long shot, even if he puts up these numbers and gets signed by the Dodgers. Ellie has godlike talent, and I think he is just one of the few players who can facilitate this type of run. He took the Reds from a lolcow to a playoff contender. They just need to make a comeback this season. To say the $1 billion contract chances are slim is a huge understatement. The Viking. He's won 2 Premier League titles, scores nearly a goal a game with Man City, and is only 26. He took Norway to the quarterfinals in their first World Cup appearance in 30 years. He is the chosen one. There is a problem though. In 2024, he signed a 10-year deal upwards of 337 million. That's great, right? Well, once the contract ends, he'll be 34. Messi signed his lucrative 4-year deal at age 30. If Haaland could win a Champions League and a Euro, appear in a World Cup final, continue to score about 3/4 to 1 goals a game, break multiple Premier League records, then maybe. But at the same time, there's a good chance he could slow down a bit by the time he hits his 30s. A 5 to 6 year deal worth $1 billion isn't entirely out of the question. Man City will likely dominate for at least the next couple of years. But when talking World Cup wise, the contenders are crowded for Norway, and the same could be said about the Euro. Spain, France, England, Morocco even. Still, I would be shocked if Norway doesn't make a semi during Haaland's career. Listen, he's insane. He's the Wemby slash Clark of the MLB. His girl is eons more famous than him. For that alone, I think he's worth an extra 100 million. But looking at his stats, this guy is a lock for Hall of Fame. Mostly. He's won a Cy Young at just age 23 and is primed for another top 5 finish this year and another 200 strikeout season, though he will need to keep his ERA down. I think in the MLB, Skenes has the best chance for any player right now to hit 1 billion. He's only 24 and will go into free agency at age 28. Unlike Ellie, I think Skenes just needs to dragged the Pirates to multiple playoff appearances. Not just another Cy Young, but at least one MVP. Aside from Otani, we haven't had a pitcher win MVP since Kershaw, all the way back in 2014. So it'd be historic. Continue having 200 strikeout seasons for the rest of his rookie deal, and have an ERA below 3, preferably below 270. Livy Dunn needs to maintain fame until 2030. The most important part is for Skeens to not get Tommy John. Of course, one UCL tear isn't the end of the world. We've seen pitchers like Justin Verlander win Cy Young after Tommy John. Suppose Skeens misses the 2027 season. Him adding an additional 11 WAR, including the Cy Young or even MVP, is surprisingly realistic. However, the problem is that if he does get a UCL tear, there is absolutely no way he's getting even 700 million. The deciding factor is how far this strike goes for both Skeens and Ellie. If it goes to the player's way, then the salary cap dream for the owners shrivels up. But even then, it would require some sort of compromise in the end. The Dictator. Fun fact, in 2023, he rejected a contract of 1 year, 776 million. So we have proof that in a few years' time, a footballer could earn over $1 billion. Mbappe signed a 5-year, $186 million contract back in 2024 with Real Madrid. Wait, he will be 31 when he has to choose a new club, and there's a very real possibility that this said new club belongs to the MLS, which basically throws a wrench into the whole thing. But if he goes elsewhere in Europe, then maybe. Mbappe needs to win at least one Ballon d'Or, which, oh my gosh, so does Holland. I'm so sorry. Holland finished runner-up once, so did Mbappe. Anyway, Mbappe has to win a Champions League, win a Ballon d'Or, continue to score a goal a game, make another top 3 finish in the World Cup. I mean, he's already won. He's made the finals. You should aim for at least third in 2030, though his contract with Real Madrid expires in 2029, and win the Euros. The closest finish was fourth, but France is stacked. I mean, Dembele won the Ballon d'Or last year, so I won't be surprised if they do win the 28 Euros. Honestly, if these guys retire, who is the biggest player aside from Mbappe and the number one slot? Kane? Bellingham? I mean, there's also Dembele, as we mentioned. Again, Mbappe was offered $776 million by the Saudis not too long ago. He'll be 30 when his Real Madrid contract expires. But like he's a dictator. I'll say this. I don't know if he'll get $1 billion contract, but he'll definitely be a billionaire in the future. Whether it's through endorsements, career earnings, or some other sideshow, also, you can say the same thing for Holland and maybe Skins if he like goes to New York or LA. I think it is an absolute guarantee that Mbappe, at some point, probably 10 years from now, will have a net worth of $1 billion. Man, you won a Euro and World Cup before you were 2 decades old. Look at this dude. He's 2 years younger than me, and he's done more in a week than I or even my family members combined have done in our life. His half brother is a celebrity too. Yamal didn't win any major awards in this year's World Cup. I mean, Kubarsi has the best young player, and he's 19 too. Man, they're both getting at least a $400-500 million contract at some point. I mean, I don't know. Yamal's so young that anything is possible. You can take inflation to guess this man's contract. It'll be double the projection I make. This man will turn 30 when I have a child, and I currently live with him to get $1 billion. He just needs to keep playing at a slightly better rate. At just 19, he scored 16 goals in 28 appearances for Barcelona. Messi at 20 was getting 14 goals in 26 appearances for Barca. Barcelona made the quarterfinals in this year's champions. Other things that Yamal has to do, I mean, I guess make the 2030 World Cup final. It's in Spain, and his family is half Moroccan, I believe. Win a Ballon d'Or. This is probably going to happen. It's really not a matter of if, but when. The other thing is probably to just naturally progress overall, especially on the international side. But that's it for today. There's no guarantee any of these players are getting $1 billion contract. If anything, for most of these players, it's highly unlikely. But thank you for making it to the end of the video. Normally, I would ask, do you agree with these opinions or who else did I miss? But I'm just going to ask y'all to make a list of honorable mentions. Maybe, I don't know, Jude Bellingham, Drake May, anyone else? But anyways, thanks.